So the first part of our presentation today is to tell you more about SIBA and how you can take advantage of member benefits. Our main goal, our mission is to give you the tools that you need to survive and hopefully thrive. So we offer education, advocacy, networking, and continued support, which includes setting up new booksellers with mentors. So if you're a new bookseller and you'd like a mentor, contact me after the event and I'll help partner you with a mentor that might be a good fit for your kind of store. So more people are filing in. With me today is my colleague at SIBA, Nikki Leone. She's going to be leading you through an overview of SIBA and how you can access member benefits through our site. And also with me today are our friends from Edelweiss, which is Deidre Dumpson and Nikki Seclair. Deidre is the Retail Success Manager and Nikki is the Senior Help Desk and Education Specialist. And they'll be presenting in the second half of the hour. So one thing I wanted to emphasize before we get into talking about member benefits, there's two things that you can do, and I hope you do every week to engage with SIBA. And one of them is to open e-blasts. E-blasts are publisher-sponsored emails that come to your inbox from a SIBA address. And publishers use these e-blasts to let you know about advanced reading copies, opportunities to buy signed copies of books for your store, registration links to events that they're hosting for indie booksellers, and other promotions. So they're usually about key titles that publishers want SIBA booksellers to know about. And they're also an important source of revenue for SIBA. So when you open these e-blasts, it shows publishers that our booksellers are interested in what they have to present to you, and they feel that their investment in SIBA is good. So it's a really good way to connect with publishers, for you to personally connect with publishers and get on their radar, and for you to support SIBA at the same time. And the second thing I would advise, if there's one thing that you look at all week, it's our newsletter that comes out on Thursdays at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Nikki is the editor of our newsletter, and we put in that newsletter everything we think you should know, including upcoming programming. And a couple of pieces of upcoming programming I wanted to tell you about. The first one up is our Winston-Salem gathering on April 27th. It's our first in-person gathering in 2.5 years. And it's very exciting for us. I know it's hard to believe it's actually happening in 2 weeks. The bookstore tour part of that event is closed, but we still have space for the reception at 5 and then Noir at the Bar at 7. It's going to be really fun. Allison Hill, the executive director of the American Booksellers Association, is going to be there, as is Pam French, the executive director of BINC. And we'll also have reps there and lots of booksellers from surrounding states. So we're really excited, and I hope, there's a link to register for that on our homepage. And the registration closes Friday. The second thing coming up is May 17th and 18th, we have a conference virtually with NABA, part of our New Voices, New Rooms partnership. It's only a 2-day conference, and the focus is on connecting you with reps and editors and authors. So there is not an education piece. It's about this other connection. If you're a new store, this is a great way to get your store on the radar of important publicists, editors, and reps, and also to sign up as an account if you're not already signed up with them. So we have the link for that on our homepage, so that you can sign up. It's free and it's really fun. And you also get to meet booksellers from the NABA region and start connecting with them too. And the third thing I wanted to mention is we have a Reader Meet Writer virtual event with James Lee Burke on May 24th. And we'd love you to join the circle of stores that are co-hosting with us. If you've never done that before, just contact me after this event and I can explain how it works. SIBA does all the setup, but one of the stores that's joining us this time is going to be live streaming it to her customers in her store. So there's different things you can do with Reader Meet Writer, and it's James Lee Burke, so we would love you to be involved. So I'm going to be turning it over to Nikki, who's going to be showing you SIBAweb.com, and she's going to be giving you a lot of information. So
in a very short amount of time.
yeah, last time we did this in January, we did this for an hour, but because we have our friends with Edelweiss, where we've condensed it and focusing on just a few select programmings. So I recommend that once that you get onto the site on your own time too, and just check out what's there and let us know if you need any help navigating it and all that. And because we need to keep this short, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Nikki to start her presentation.
Okay. Okay. Yes, a lot to cover in a very short amount of time. If you have questions about anything I'm talking about, you can put them in the chat. Linda Marie will see them and break in if it's something I can answer right away. And we can also, we'll give you our contact information, which I'm sure you all already know. Anyway, if you have other questions that we don't cover well, at this orientation. So the first thing you're looking at here is an example of one of those e-blasts. And I just wanted to give you a visual of it so that you had an idea of what would show up in your inbox. Like Linda Marie said, this is one of the most common ways publishers contact and interact with SIBA bookstore members. They really, really want these titles in front of booksellers. And so they go the extra effort by sending out these e-blasts directly to all of you via us. And the odds are that there's something that you will see every week. We send out at least one a day at this point. That's become that popular. And I will say that booksellers are opening them. We track how often you all open our emails, right? And we can see that these are very, very popular with our booksellers. So this is an e-blast, what it looks like. The other thing she mentioned was our newsletter. This is an example of our newsletter here on, we keep a archive copy of it on our website. And as you can see, it has right here our upcoming deadlines, important action items, and then information about upcoming programming, or really things that we think you need to know about as booksellers. We do sort of filter through industry information that comes to us and pass along the stuff that we think is important for you. So the newsletter, as she says, comes out every week at 4 o'clock. And there's always something that we think is relevant and timely for bookstores. So you should always open up the newsletter and see. Also, you get to read at the end here everything that the SIBA staff is reading, listening to, watching on TV as well. And let me just tell you, some of these people are very, very funny writers. So it's well worth seeing what they have to say about the books that they're reading. The SIBA website, SIBAweb.com, is sort of your portal to all things SIBA. This is the homepage that you're looking at. It starts with this, honestly, these Zoom things. It starts with this newsletter, this slideshow right across the top. And that slideshow is the first thing you'll see. It's the first thing you should see because it has the information that's most important for you all to know right now. Like, for example, here's information about our upcoming holiday catalog, which the deadline for that is coming up very, very soon. So, it's front and center for us. It's got information about our upcoming New Voices, New Rooms events. And our recently released Read This Next books. And then somewhere in here, here's Come Together, the event that is happening later this month, which you have till Friday to sign up for. The other things to note on the homepage, just real quick, is that this is the place you can find an easy way to contact SIBA. It's a place to find an easy list of SIBA member bookstores. And it is the place where you could see at a glance the most recent news that we've posted and what's coming up on our calendar. This stay very up to date. And then, of course, down at the bottom of the homepage are, the sort of standard links that every organization tries to keep front and center for their members, like our social media accounts that we hope that you will, go and look at and friend and follow and whatnot. Here's a place to submit feedback, a link to SIBA's code of conduct, which has become very important for us as we, come up with all these different kinds of events and programs that we do. There's links to how to be a SIBA member, how to find the SIBA's blog, all sorts of things. So if you're not sure where to go, you can always go to the bottom of the homepage, and there's probably a link there that will get you where you want to go. The other thing that you can do if you have questions is I wanted to show you where to find information about the staff. Under the homepage, under About SIBA, is an easy link to all of SIBA's staff contacts and all of SIBA's board member contact information. So if you ever have any questions and can't seem to find what you're looking for, if you go to About SIBA, you'll find all of SIBA's, anybody SIBA that might be helpful for you. And then the last thing I wanted to do on the homepage is show you how to log into your account. We're dealing, this orientation, we bill it for new booksellers, but in point of fact, a lot of bookstores, a lot of booksellers who are members of SIBA don't actively look at their SIBA accounts on the website. And we'd like for SIBA members to do that because it's the information we know about you, and the more accurate that information is, the better that we can help you and anticipate your needs. So there's a search link up here at the top right, pretty standard. There's also the sign-in link, and this will bring you to your member login page. And if you do not know what your username is and your password is, there's a place there to reset. You can also email me, and I can usually find and send you your login information as well. And then once you sign in, you'll be taken to your profile page. Depending on when you signed in last, you'll either see this page, which is sort of your front. It's like a profile page for a social media account. This is stuff that anybody who looking for you on SIBA's website would see, sort of your wall, so to speak, that has your bio and information about you. But most importantly is there's a profile menu, and manage profile is where you will track and update all the things that you do for SIBA. So it is the place where you can edit your information under bio, where you can edit your preferences about how much email you get and in what format. You can, if you're a bookstore owner, you can add your staff from this page to SIBA and give them each their own account so they get their own newsletters and whatnot. It will also tell you what events you're registered for and if you have any outstanding invoices, things of that sort. So it's important to know how to manage your profile and how to log in and see it. And if you have any questions about doing that, once again, you can just email me and I will be able to talk you through it. So that is the homepage. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the holiday catalog, this thing right here, because that's coming up next. This is a major program for our booksellers. It's probably the most popular program and the most popular benefit of being a member of SIBA. It's a printed catalog that comes out in the fourth quarter with designed to be a gift catalog that is branded with your store's information. We do it in conjunction with 3 other regionals under the headline RAMP, which stands for Regional Association Marketing something, I think. But the first thing to know about it is these catalogs, you can order like 7,000 of them for free. and you can have your store's information imprinted. You can have your catalogs either shipped to your store or drop shipped to, say, a newspaper for insertion. And it's become a very important tool for a lot of our members for bumping up fourth quarter sales and holiday season sales. The other thing that the RAMP Association does is arrange for direct mail if you want to send your catalogs to your own store customer list. And also what they call saturation mail, which is sending your newsletters along a postal route, like to a neighborhood or to a zip code through the post office. RAMP can arrange for that for you as well. But because there has been, for the last couple of years, such distribution issues and supply chain issues, the deadline to get this process started to place orders for your catalogs is much earlier than it used to be. And we now have the deadline for ordering catalogs for your store is May 15th. So coming up in about a month. But if you want to take part in the process that, or the benefit that allows you to use direct or saturation mail, then you actually have to get started on your order by May 1st. So within 2 weeks or so. So I would recommend that you at least go to RAMP and get your store on the list and get your account up and running if you haven't already done that. And just to show you, if you click on the RAMP information, you will be taken to RAMP's homepage. There's a very easy bookstore option in the menu, and you can just click on order catalogs, and it will start you through the whole process. It's very easy to follow. And they have a whole lot of little sort of slideshow tutorials and things like that. And just so you can see, let's see, if the catalogs not only have this sort of nice print piece, and not only can they be direct mailed or drop shipped to newspapers or sent to your store, they also have a digital component so that you can use them with your e-commerce system. And they have they come with a lot of sort of assets and resources, graphics and things like that, that your store can use to promote your catalog to your customers. So that is the holiday catalog. Am I going okay? Are there any questions, Lorraine?
No questions. We have about 10 minutes.
Okay, so I have to go.
No pressure.
No pressure. Well, that was the most important one because the deadline's coming up really, really fast. The other things to talk about, New Voices, New Rooms, as Linda Marie said, that is a program that we do in partnership with NABA. It is free to attend. It's a virtual show. There is a May edition and an August edition. The May edition is all about connecting booksellers with their sales reps and with publishers and seeing forthcoming new releases and meeting authors. The registration is very easy. If you've attended in the past, all you have to do to register is go to newvoicesnewrooms.org and click on registration and enter your email, and it will come up with your registration information. If you haven't registered before, you can click on the little red first time attendee. And as you can see, it found me, and here's my registration information. A couple of things to note about New Voices, New Rooms is, as new bookstores, one of the things that you'll find is that we run a studio gallery of all of the representative publishers, the publishers who are sponsoring the show. And that includes information in that gallery of their sales reps, their sales rep contact information. And in some cases, I think, like, for example, Scholastic, they've even put up how to new account applications. So information about the different publishers that are sponsoring New Voices, New Rooms are right there. It's a handy way to find the contact information you need for your sales reps. The other thing we run is Bookstore Row, which is the bookstores that are represented at New Voices, New Rooms, are attending New Voices, New Rooms. And this is a good way to put your store in front of those same publishers and sales reps. Publishers and sales reps look at Bookstore Row to see information about the stores that are attending. And there is information there that you can add, including your store press kit if you had it, your store staff members and the roles that they play, your social media tags for them, and a nice photo gallery of what your store looks like, which sales reps especially really enjoy seeing. So those are two things about New Voices, New Rooms. You do need to attend to be listed in Bookstore Row or see the studio gallery. Next thing on my list is Circle of Sites. Most of you are here because you probably already signed up and paid dues, but dues are $125 a year, and that's $125. So SIBA has a program that they call Circle of Sites. It basically allows SIBA to put a banner on your website that is sponsored by publishers, and as long as the banner is running on your website, then you're considered sort of eternally a current member of SIBA. The banner is small. It can be either a vertical or a horizontal or now a box banner. It always features a book that's in print, and it always clicks through to purchase the book from your store's e-commerce system. Let me give you an example of that. I think, here's Fiction Addiction as a member of Circle of Sites. And as you can see, they're now showing a banner featuring Lost Book of Eleanor Dare. And if somebody were to click on that banner, it would take them to buy that book from Fiction Addiction's bookshop.org account. In order to participate in this, all you need to do is ask me, and I'll make sure that your store is eligible. You do need to have a compatible e-commerce system. Bookshop is one of those compatible systems, and I would say about 2/3 of our participating stores use Bookshop in order to participate in Circle of Sites. The nice thing from the perspective of SIBA is it shows our publishers a sort of the breadth of SIBA's influence, and it allows them to place an ad for a book on every single participating store's website simultaneously, so it sort of splashes that title across the South. So publishers really like the program. And as I said, all you need to do is ask to participate. What happens is I send you a little bit of code, like a widget, like adding a little widget to your website, and you get your web person to put it on your site, and then you're done. You never have to do anything else. SIBA handles all of the transitions of banners. So that's Circle of Sites. And then the last thing to talk about is the Southern Bookseller Review. And this is SIBA's target, what we call a consumer targeted or customer targeted, sorry, hang on. Customer targeted promotion. It's a website devoted to the books that our member bookstores that you guys are already reviewing. There's books that you have just recently reviewed. There's Read This Next, a collection of 5 books that a lot of bookstores have really been giving a lot of buzz back. And so there's about 5 books every month that show up under Read This Next. And then there's a newsletter as well that goes out to about 6,500 people at this point. And it simply reprints reviews that you guys have about the books that you all are talking about, and shares those reviews on social media, through the newsletter, in an attempt to raise the visibility of our bookstores and the vast kind of breadth of books that they read. there was a while when people thought Southern booksellers only read Southern books, but that is clearly, not the case at all. So Southern Bookseller Review basically publishes reviews of books that from you guys. Most of these reviews come from the reviews that you are submitting to Edelweiss. So when the Edelweiss portion of this comes on, they'll talk about how you do that, or where you can do that. You're seeing here is the homepage of the Southern Bookseller Review. We publish about, I want to say 20 to 25 new reviews every week. So there's a lot. You guys read a lot of books. I get a report from Edelweiss, and there's usually about 100 books reviews on that report every week. So the one thing that we think is really useful about Southern Bookseller Review is that all the reviews are tagged with your store. All the reviews click through to purchase a book from your store. So, all of the attention goes back to your store. And I'm not sure who we have in-house right now, but here is an example of the list of books reviewed by Bookmarks in Winston-Salem. But what we've also arranged to do is as a store, you can embed your list of published reviews on Southern Bookseller Review on your own website. And once again, here's an example of Fiction Addiction doing that. On their homepage, if you scroll down a little bit, is a list of their most recent reviews. They most recently reviewed Like a Sister by Kelly Garrett, which actually sounded really good, and I might be, buying it from them, which clicks through to buy, from their bookshop page, because that's what Jill Hendricks wanted us to do. We can also arrange to have it purchased from your website page if you have a way to do that. And this list of reviews updates every time a new book is published. Your list on your webpage updates. So it lists the 5 most recent reviews that have been published on Southern Bookseller Review, but on your website. So it's like this ongoing staff pick section for you that automatically updates on its own. And you're seeing it here on Fiction Addiction. Here's an example of it in Main Street Reads. You can see they just submitted a review about The Bookwoman's Daughter, which is coming out early next month. And here's an example of it, the way it looks on page 158 Books. Page 158, as an indie commerce store, their books click through back to their website to purchase the book. So it's a great resource. I think it sort of takes one of the headaches off of maintaining your website. Bookstores seem to like it. We have about 10 bookstores participating in this sort of automated staff picks option, and it's very easy for us to create a little widget for you that you can add to your website so that you have your own store reviews automatically feeding onto your website via Southern Bookseller Review. And I think that is it. Sorry if I went a little too long there, Linda Marie. Any questions? I'm going to stop sharing.
No questions. That was fantastic. And as I mentioned in the chat, Edelweiss was our 2021 sponsor of the Southern Bookseller Review and helped when we were in the process of creating it. We reached out to them and they stepped in and helped support the funding and the creation of it. So, I just wanted to mention that as I turn the program now over to Deidre and Nikki.
Thanks so much, Linda Marie. And hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Deidre Dumpson. As Linda Marie said, I am the retail and library success manager at Edelweiss. And before coming into this role, I was a frontline bookseller and bookstore manager for 3 years in Brooklyn and in New Jersey. So I'm really looking forward to talking to you all about using Edelweiss. And before I get into all of that, I kind of want to turn it over to Nikki so she can introduce herself as well.
Thanks. I'm Nikki. I'm Edelweiss Nikki, not SIBA Nikki. I am a senior support staff and education specialist at Edelweiss. Before coming here, I was also a bookseller, bookstore manager, and events coordinator at an indie outside of Boston for several years. So I think both Deidre and I have kind of that frontline and ordering background. And so we do have, I think, a pretty good understanding of how bookstore users tend to use Edelweiss and how we can kind of help out.
So I am going to share my screen in a second and kind of walk through some basic navigation of the site and getting you set up with an account if you don't have one already. Nikki will be hanging out in the chat. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to pop them in. Nikki can respond to them and share some of the support documents and videos that we have already created. And then at the end, we'll share some other tools that we have available for support. So as you're getting to know Edelweiss and how to use it, you can lean on these resources to help you better understand or navigate. So with that, I will share my screen. Is everyone seeing my blank web page? Yes, okay. So what you're going to want to do is go to Edelweiss.plus. And I know we're working on short time, but I'm trying to be better at not speed talking through my nerves. So if we don't get to things, we'll make sure we follow up. But also if I do start doing that, you could tell me to slow down. Another thing I want to point out is that I have two screens. And so I might be often looking to the side, and that's because I'm looking at my other screen. I'm not ignoring anyone. So this is just Edelweiss.plus here. And so before I get into setting up an account, I just wanted to explain what Edelweiss is, just in case you've never even heard of us before. So at its core, Edelweiss Plus is a digital catalog platform that publishers use to manage their catalogs and review copies. The platform was established with booksellers in mind, and the goal was to have a central space where booksellers can streamline certain practices like ordering and title discovery that were necessary for the maintenance of their stores. So today we'll discuss some of those basic features that are free to access and how you can utilize them to your advantage. So if you have never set up an account before, you can create a new account by clicking this create a free account button over here. And you'll just have to fill out some information to get set up. So once you do that, I'm just gonna pop over to this account. This is essentially the screen that you'll be taken to once your account is set up. And if you maybe are a new bookseller, but your store already has an account, you can always ask your store's manager to add you to your store's organization in Edelweiss, rather than setting up a new account and asking to be a part of the organization. But if you are just signing up on your own, then you can definitely do it this way. So to start, you have your home page here, and what you see in these boxes here are widgets. There are a number of widgets that you can add to your home page here, and this is all entirely customizable to whatever you need it to be. So you can remove widgets by clicking this X here. You can add a widget by clicking this plus button over here. And you can always take some time to kind of click through and see what widgets are available. You'll see this publisher list open here as soon as you set up an account. And what's great about this list is if you click any of the stars next to the publisher name, that will be essentially you favoriting that publisher if it's a publisher that you're normally working with for your store. And it'll make it easier for you when you're looking through catalogs, which I'll show you a little bit later. But I'm just going to star a couple of these right now so that I could show you when we go over them. Some widgets that we found booksellers love are review copies, which is already here. And so what this widget is showing you is all of the new review copies that have been added to the site. And digital review copies are galleys, but in digital form, or ARCs, if you know them, advanced reading copies in digital form. And we'll talk more about that later as well. One important thing about setting up your account is you want to make sure that you fill out your account's profile information. And so you can do that by clicking your initials or your profile photo over here and then clicking your profile and account. And then under basic information here, this is where you can add some information about who you are, the store you work for, what you do, and what you kind of oversee, whether that's buying. It could be display curation, whatever that is, event coordination, you will want to include it in your profile here. And that's because publishers are able to see this profile information. And so when they're determining who to send physical review copies to or digital review copies, giving access to digital review copies, sometimes they'll lean on that profile information. And so the more you put in there, the better. Up here, this dark gray bar is your navigation bar. And so a few things of note here, this question mark is what will be hugely beneficial, especially as you're getting to know how to use Edelweiss. And so what it will do is take you to a separate page where that houses all of our support documentation and videos. And so if you click right here into Booksellers, then you'll see all the documentation and videos that we have available to help you understand how to do certain things on the site. And you can search in here. So if you want to know more about ordering, for example, you can search it and then click on any of these documents to open it up and learn more. Right here is where you can search for titles. So if you have a specific title that you want to learn more information about, I'm going to put a book that I just read. You can just search it here by entering the name. And if you want to refine your search, you can click this gear icon that just disappeared. That's, of course, being difficult. Why are you being difficult? There we go. If you click that gear icon, you can refine your search parameters. So if you know that you're typing in the specific title and you don't want anything else to show up, you can make sure that you only have title highlighted. Or if you know that you only have a few keywords, you can make sure that you expand your element so that whatever book you are looking for shows up in your search results. So when you search for a title, you'll see a title card is what I like to call it, pop up. And so you'll see basic information that the publisher shares through their catalogs, which is ISBN, publication date, format, list price, genre, page count, measurements, honors, which is great as well. So if there's been a starred review or if it's been given an award, then it'll show up here under honors. And then you'll see things like if this book is getting a lot of love from other booksellers, if there are featured reviews, and these are things, reviews that have been starred by the publisher that they want other folks to see. You'll also see things like comparable titles. So what are other titles, backlist titles, titles that have already come out already that are similar to this title that you can use to discern whether or not you think it'll be good for you and your customer base. Basic content information about the book, if they have any author tours planned, quotes and reviews from magazines and authors of note, so on and so forth. You'll also be able to do great things like shelf titles. So if you want to save a title for yourself to look at later, you can mark it as anticipating, highly anticipating, currently reading. You can add in notes that will be visible to other members in your organization. So, and you can tag books, which is a really awesome feature for booksellers because it's a great way to collaborate on title lists, displays, curations, and so forth. And so if you just click this tag button, you can tag it, for example, something that we're doing amongst our staff right now is preparing for Pride. And so we are tagging books as Pride 22 if we want those books to be featured and highlighted for Pride Month. Last thing I want to mention here, aside from tags, is a way that you can kind of create a collection of titles is by literally creating what we call a collection. And so you can add titles to collections. What we've seen booksellers do in the past, for example, is create a collection of titles that may be coming into the store next month. So books that we have on order that will be here in May. And you can share that with the rest of your team so that folks know what's coming in and can get excited for it and maybe see if there are any review copies available or if there are any physical review copies in the store that they can take a peek at before they come in. How am I doing? I'm talking very fast, I know. All right. So, what I'm going to do now is show you Edelweiss Community. And so Edelweiss Community is a kind of partnered platform that has been created. And what it does is it's a version of Edelweiss that removes the business to business aspect of it. And so it's not centered around publisher catalogs, but it is centered around book lovers. And so you can get to Edelweiss by clicking that icon that I just clicked very fast without explaining what I was doing. But you see this, what we call, some of us call a snowflake icon over here. You can click that and you'll be taken over to Edelweiss Community. And so right here at the top left, this is where you'll be able to see communities that are available to join, communities that you're already a part of, or communities that you have been invited to. And so I secretly invited myself to the SIBA community so that you all will see what that looks like. So if you have not set up an account yet, or if you just joined SIBA, Nikki would be your person, Nikki from SIBA, would be your contact person to get invited to the community. And so once you do receive that invitation, what you'll do is you'll see this one invited here, click that, and all you have to do is click this arrow and you will be a part of the SIBA community. What's really important about joining the SIBA community is that by doing that, you will be able to share your reviews with the SIBA folks and thus get featured in the Southern Bookseller Review. A number of other folks are going to get to see that, like publishers, which is another great reason for you to submit your staff picks and reviews through Edelweiss, because along with getting featured in the Southern Bookseller Review, you could see your review featured in Indie Next, in publisher marketing newsletters or in social media. And it's just an awesome way to make sure that your voice and expertise is being included in the conversation about books and what books are coming out today. And so when you're in the SIBA community, you'll see a few things. At the very top, there are collaborative lists. And so there will be some that are just for you to view that the SIBA team will create for you all to see, like a holiday catalog or top picks for that month. But you'll also be able to collaborate as a community on lists that you think might be relevant for your consumers. As you scroll down, you'll see events that are specific to the SIBA community that Nikki or Linda Marie might be sharing with you all. Community Buzz is just showing you titles that are being talked about, reviewed, shelved, loved by folks within the SIBA community. So if you really want to see what's going on and what people are talking about within SIBA, you can do so by looking at the Community Buzz here. These little icons that you see at the top of the book, the title, is letting you know that there is a digital review copy available. If you see this cloud icon, that means that it's available for immediate download. And what's really awesome is that also by being a part of the SIBA community, you get access to titles that publishers have auto-approved for the SIBA community. There are a number of publishers that have made their titles immediately available to folks that are part of SIBA. And so once you join, you will see the number of review copies that are available for immediate download go up. And won't have to put in requests. So if you see this hand icon, that means that you have to submit a request, which is when your profile will come in handy because that's when a publisher will see your profile information. Yeah. I'm going to pause real quick. Any questions so far? And Nikki, tell me if I'm Nikki from Edelweiss. I feel like I should come up with nicknames for you. Nikki S and Nikki L, right? We're taking it to recess. But am I missing anything of note for community before I jump back over to Edelweiss?
I
don't sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, other Nikki. I just wanted to mention, I've been putting in some of our help docs in the chat. So those are good. Obviously, this is being recorded, but those are good if you want to bookmark them to look at later. There's step-by-step instructions for going through everything. And also wanted to mention that community is a really good option to have your booksellers join, possibly the booksellers who aren't ordering for your store, don't need access to like talk to reps or anything, because they can do all of their posting of reviews, requesting DRCs, and everything from community, and it's mobile friendly. Sometimes booksellers find that easier and less cumbersome for them to use. So also a great option.
Yeah, and I'm realizing what time it is too. So good, move on. But yeah, so essentially everything that you can do in Edelweiss in regards to seeing buzz and community reviews, you can definitely do it over here. And so if you click on a title and expand it, you'll be able to see that same information, title data that I showed you before. And then if you scroll down, you'll be able to see if you place this book on a shelf or you can put it on a shelf. You can write your own review, and you can also see other reviews from folks in here as well. Uh, I should have also shown, but I'm not in the right account. But when you're submitting your reviews, if you are part of the ABA and there is an ABA community for you to join as well. And once you do that, you'll also be able to submit Indie Next nominations. And I am trying to see if I can show you what that looks like, but I don't think I have it on this account. Nope. But that would show up down here, and it would also show up where you would submit your review and community as well, and you would just submit it to Indie Next. So once you have your review copies, you can submit reviews, as we were saying. You're not limited to only reviewing titles that you have review copies for. You can review any title that you've read, whether it's backlist, frontlist, hasn't come out, just came out. There are no limits. And publishers have access to seeing your reviews, as well as the rest of the SIBA community if you share it with them. And so once you open up the review box, I guess we'll call it, you can submit a numerical score. You can write a full review if you want. You can tag it with themes that you think are relevant to that book. And over here is where you would share it with the publisher. And by sharing it with your communities, that's where you would be sharing it with SIBA. And then if you want to make sure that your coworkers can see it, then of course you want to share it with your colleagues, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. And that is submitting reviews, review copies, buzz. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm talking about the important stuff. Oh, and then a cool new feature that we are introducing and slowly adding more titles for is Edelweiss Reader. And so we understand that downloading digital review copies can be cumbersome, and it can be a huge barrier for some folks. And so our team has been working very hard on putting together and releasing what we are calling Edelweiss Reader. And it is an insight reader for digital review copies. So where you see review copies with this open book icon, that means that it is available through Edelweiss Reader. And so you would just click that icon and it will open up that book right in your web browser. So we are hoping that this will be beneficial for booksellers who maybe want to read it on their phone or on a tablet or a device other than their computer, or if you want to quickly take a peek at a title before you put it out on the floor, for example. So definitely take a peek at that when you're looking at review copies. And I think that was like the important stuff that we were going to talk about today. A huge feature of Edelweiss that we don't have time to talk about is ordering. So we're going to share an awesome ordering video that our support and education team created. The great thing about it is that you can kind of learn it at your own pace, and you can always reach out to us if you run into any obstacles or you have any trouble as you're getting to know how to do it. And so, yeah, I'll leave it at that. We have a few minutes for questions. I'm so sorry I took up more time than expected. But yeah, any questions?
I had a question. You have a great place on your site where if you have a question about author grids or things like that, where you've put information for people to learn on their own. I was wondering if you could show how to get to that from the homepage.
Yeah, so right here, this question mark is where you will be able to reach our support hub, and you'll see that question mark icon all throughout the site. So if you click on it, it'll immediately open up our support hub. But if you open it, for example, while you're doing ordering, it'll specifically take you to the ordering support doc. So if you're working on event grids and you click on that help button, it'll take you to all the support documentation that we have for event grids specifically. And so let me show you that right now. Orders. So as you can see right now, I'm looking at orders, and right here in this top bar, that's where you see that question mark icon. And so you can find more details for booksellers. And this is where you'll see all those support documents that we have that will help you walk through any big or small step that you're trying to take as you get to know how to do things. You can also reach us directly by emailing us at support@abovethetreeline.com. Our support team is pretty amazing and super quick at helping answer any questions that you might have. If you have any confusion, because we know that it is a lot. Oh, which reminds me, we have a new feedback widget that we just released. So you'll see on the side of your screen here, these little smileys that you can click on and just quickly enter some information about how your experience has been. So if you have an issue, like something froze up or you're running into an error message, you can let us know right here. Or if you just want to let us know that you had an amazing experience, we love getting those as well. So you could just click on that and tell us more if you want to, and someone from our team will get back to you with more information if it's necessary.
Well, we don't have any more questions and we've hit the end of the hour. So I think that's it. But we have your contact information. Oh, there is a question from Jamila Horton. How can we utilize the marketing info?
For books? For titles, I'm assuming?
Jamila, do you want to unmute and ask your question directly?
Oh, wait, I have to allow that. Okay, people should be able to unmute themselves now.
Okay, sorry, I tried to do that first. But yes, so my question is exactly that in regards to each title. You know, when you click on a title and you scroll to the bottom, it gives you information for like promotions and marketing. So how do we utilize that? Can we just print that out and put that as like shelf talkers, or like how should we?
Yes, exactly. You can use that however you will want to. You can use it on social media. You can use it on your shelves. The great thing is that once you're set up with sales reps, you'll see even more promos there, and you'll also get access to like special discounts and things that you'll see show up when your sales rep sends you markups. So that's okay. on the ordering buying end, but also you can use all that data and information. Like for me, when I was working at the store, I leaned on Edelweiss heavily for putting together our events information. So if I was putting together a landing page for an author event, I used a lot of information that was already on Edelweiss that I knew was approved and good to go from the publisher's end. So you don't have to worry about that back and forth.
Awesome. Okay. That's exactly what I needed to know. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I did want to mention it. I really advise, especially our newer booksellers, to get on Edelweiss and create accounts and become familiar with the platform, because at events like New Voices, New Rooms, you're going to see a lot of presentations by sales reps and editors, and it's going to be done via Edelweiss collections. They're going to show a screen of a list of books on Edelweiss, and they're going to sort of scroll through and talk about each book. And it will really help you understand what you're looking at if you've got some familiarity with the Edelweiss Plus platform ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if there is ever a moment where you feel like it would be beneficial to you all if we stopped in again to do maybe a follow-up session on ordering or whatever event grids. We're happy to do that. So you can reach out to Linda Marie, and Linda Marie can contact us and we can set something else up. So don't feel like this is the end. We're walking away and throwing you to the wolves. We're
It will
here.
be a test.
We're here and we're happy to support in any way that we can. So I hope that you all just kind of get your feet wet and see what's there and ask any questions that you have.
Oh, okay. Chanpreet, we'll look into doing that.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we'll follow up with all of those links.
I'll send you a copy of all the attendees so that you can follow up with that.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And thank you, Deirdre and Nikki for everything today. And I'm sure we'll be back with another session in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.